Greetings and salutations, all. I.S. Anderson here once again, and yes, I went and saw it. Yes, I did. The 50 Shades of Grey movie. Saw it on the day it came out. Saw it early this morning because I had to work this afternoon. But yes, I did go and see it. I know some of you are just like, oh my god, why would you do that? No. But I did go and see it because I've been curious about it. And as far as whether or not it's a good movie, whether or not it's worth seeing, overall, I would say yes, in general. If you are somebody who is curious about the movie, who likes the book, or has heard about the book, is interested in seeing the movie on any level, then I would say yes, go ahead and see it. Now, if you're a person who is easily offended and thinks the whole thing is just like, oh, I can't believe they would show something like this on Valentine's Day and blah 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 blah, then I don't think the movie is going to sway you in any way. So if you are not curious and don't want to see it, then don't go and see it because I don't think it'll change your opinion of it. Okay, so just want to go over some of the good points and some of the bad points without being too spoilery. If you've read the book, I don't think I'm going to say anything that you don't already know about. But some of the good points. First of all, Dakota Johnson as Anastasia Steele, very good, top notch. Yes, she did have a presence on the screen. She was awkward when she needed to be. She was sensual when she needed to be, and she captured Anna pretty well. Yes, her acting was pretty good too. No, seriously though, Dakota Johnson very good as Anastasia Steele. Yes, they. I know a lot of people at first, when they first, saw Dakota Johnson, oh no, that's not who we wanted, and a lot of people were just so disappointed. But I mean, I figured from the get-go they were going to get somebody who was fairly unknown and certainly not an A-lister, somebody who's probably been in a few independent films or some minor roles and was looking to make a name for themselves. And Dakota Johnson, her fame is good. She's probably going to be an A-lister now after this. But she did do a very good job in this film. And dare I say it's the role she was meant to play? Maybe. It's the only one I've ever seen her in. But needless to say, she did a very good job. So definitely a thumbs up on that. Some other good points. They cut out a lot of the stuff from the books that really should have been cut out in the first place. We have no inner monologue. We don't we don't get to see Anna's inner goddess and her conscience, and we don't see they're pretty much gone from the story, which I think is very good. I think that would have gotten very tedious and very stupid. So yeah, I'm glad that there was none of that in there. I mean, I don't know how exactly they could have put that in there in the first place, but even if they had, I don't think there's any way they could have made it, so where, it enhanced the film, it would have just dragged it down. So yeah, I'm really glad that they got rid of that. Another aspect of the movie that I found interesting that I thought was pretty good as far as direction goes, they started out the movie as very gray, as you can imagine. I mean, the very first shot is basically, Seattle, the city, and Seattle's not exactly known for being sunshiny and has a reputation of being a lot of rain, but I think they went out of their way to make it really look gray, and I mean, the whole world was pretty gray. But then as Anna and Christian's relationship kind of progressed, they kind of introduced more and more color into it as it went along. Something I noticed, which was pretty good, I thought. Just a little thing that I thought added a certain flavor to the film that I thought made it good. So yeah, that aspect was pretty cool. Now, for those of you who are going to this film just for the sake of nudity, I can safely say that you will not be disappointed. You don't see everything, but you see almost everything. Everything from the waist up in the front, everything from the back all the way down. And I will leave it at that. But just, nudity, yeah, there's plenty of that in it. And the sex scenes, they are in there, yes. So if you want to see the nudity and the sex, you go to this film. I don't think you will be disappointed. And do they handle it tastefully? I think so. I guess they, I'm not exactly sure what that means, handled it tastefully. But, I mean, it's not overly gross. I mean, you don't feel like, well, people who watch a lot of porn aren't going to feel like they're watching a porn. They're going to feel like they're watching a softcore Cinemax thing. But as far as the nudity and sexuality goes, yeah, it pretty much delivers. Okay, so now we got to get into some of the bad points. Jamie Dornan as Christian Grey. I don't want to be too harsh on the guy because I realize this is kind of a difficult role. I mean, it is pretty demanding, and there's a lot to think about, a lot to worry about. I will say this for him. I mean, he does. I mean, if I look at him, I can be convinced this is Christian Grey. I mean, he wears the suit, or he wears nothing at all, or just looking at him, just looking at him, I think, yeah, Christian Grey. Until he opens his mouth. Yes, as soon as he opens his mouth, he doesn't seem to have this. I mean, he seems a little bit too timid in his voice. I mean, when she says, "Oh yes, he was so intense," I go, "Really? You sure?" I mean, it's just his voice to me just did not seem to command respect. I mean, his voice just seemed like it was apologizing for everything. I mean, maybe that's just me looking far too into it, but it's just I don't get that Christian Grey vibe off of him. I mean, he does look the part, but I just don't feel that I'm in Christian Grey's presence whenever he speaks on the screen. It just seems like it's a shy actor trying to be him, and that doesn't work. So I'm sorry, I have to say, kind of overall thumbs down on Jamie Dornan's performance. Sorry. Another aspect that I thought was pretty bad was the whole Later's baby thing. I mean, yeah, it was used a few times by the actors, and you could just tell the actors just were not taking that part seriously. I mean, I expected them to just go, "Later's baby." I was really thinking they were going to do that, and they probably might as well have, because in my mind they actually did. "Later's baby." It was just dumb. I mean, in the book it was a lot more amusing because it usually came at the end of the emails. Oh yeah, and the emails, that's another thing. They tried to do the whole texting thing, and the emails. I mean, it wasn't quite as prevalent as it was in the books, but they did try to incorporate it into the movie, and I don't know. I guess it could have been a lot worse, but it didn't really add to the film so much, I think. I mean, you got this movie. It's gray. It's trying to be so seriously, and then you see these little pop-ups. Text comes, little pop-ups of text, and it just doesn't seem. I mean, you feel like you're in some weird old music video with just pop-ups. I don't know. It's just, the emails, I guess it could have been worse, but they just didn't work for me. One final note I'd like to leave on, apparently the critics have already panned it. I mean, I was pretty much expecting that to happen. I mean, they probably think they're not going to be ever taken seriously again if they don't slam it or ridicule it, but I figured they simply were just because it's 50 Shades of Grey, and there's a lot of other people who are going to ridicule it just because it's 50 Shades of Grey, and oh my god, this is so stupid. Why would they put this on Valentine's Day? It's so offensive. And, let other people have their opinions, whatever, whether they're founded or not. But all I can say about that is don't let it deter you from going to see the movie if you want to see the movie. I mean, a lot of people apparently already have taken my advice on that because apparently it's done like 85, well, I don't know if 85, but it's already done in the millions its first night, and apparently it's already broken records. And I'm not surprised at that part either. So, I mean, society has pretty much reacted to the movie the way I figured they would. Critics and everybody who thinks they have their reputation at stake, they've all said, they've all thumbs down it, and yet the general public who don't give a shit just went out and saw it. So, if you're one of those people who don't give a shit and want to go see the movie, go see the movie. But if you're easily offended, just don't go and see it. I know that's pretty much repeating myself from the beginning of this video, but I just want to reiterate that. So, as always, leave comments below. If you saw it, what did you think of the movie? Are you looking forward to seeing it? Anything you want to ask me? Well, why did you go see it? Because I wanted to. But if you have any questions, leave them for me in the comments. And as always, my pertinent contact information down below in the abyss. Please comment, rate, subscribe. You know the drill. And until next time, this is I.S. Anderson telling everybody, make your lives grin and have a good day. Laters, baby. Yeah, see, it just doesn't work, does it?